Hello, 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 and welcome to another Daily Code Fun. I am One Lion, and today is Monday. It's a Monday, August 1st, and we've been working on having fun with a project, a full stack project, a financial management data entry thingy, majigger, bobber, fun stuff. But hello, Dukasoft, and hello, DC Aggie, and anyone else who is already here, might be lurking. Hope you're enjoying the start of your week or whatever day of your week happens to be. It could be hump day for some people. Who knows? Who knows? I sure don't. Um, but yeah, hi, and hello. So let's dive in. We have been playing with this financial management tracker. We've gotten some of the UI sketched out. Oh, and DC Aggie resubbed. Resubbed. Oh, thank you so much for that. And you used your Prime Gaming, and you know how I feel about that. That is super duper awesome. Very nice of you. Dukasoft says, I've obviously been here since yesterday. Of course you have. You're always here. And if you aren't actually logged in, then you're still here in spirit. Such a good guy. And Dukasoft said, oh, hi, DC Aggie. Oh, and in case there are people that are listening and watching that don't know what I meant by the Prime Gaming subscription, that means a lot to me because you only get one free Prime subscription, and choosing to use it on this channel is really, really thoughtful, really amazing that you would choose to use your one free subscription on me. I find it to be an honor. So thank you so much for that, DC Aggie. Really appreciate it. So anyway, moving on. What we did in the previous streams was, let's actually look at our history. Could have sworn I committed that at the end of the stream. Anyway, let's just take a look at this history and see what all we have. The 29th was our last stream. It was community day as well, so that might be why I didn't get very much done. But we essentially just set up all of the pages on the day before. So all of the routable pages, which would be in Blazor UI. So the deposit entry, payment entry, transaction history, and transfer entry, we set the pages up themselves. Then we sketched out all of the controls and a model or two for holding the data from this page. For the input, we kind of sketched out some functionality, but again, we're not doing any actual functionality yet. We're just kind of throwing controls on a page and mocking up what it should do, or maybe how it should behave. And so if we take a look at this, .NET Worsh, we will see. Oh, that's what I was doing. The most recent thing we did on Friday was we added links to be able to route to the other pages because I didn't have them in my nav menu. And then I think I started working on the deposit page, the purple deposit. And we were just going to start sketching in some controls there. So this is what our app currently looks like. You'll notice no styling. You will notice that it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. On the enter payments page, all we have are a bunch of inputs, date time input, or just regular date input, some select list, add button. These add buttons do work. $392.20. This is US dollars. Whatever I bought. Oh no. I promised. Oh. Huh? Anyway, that's a very interesting. That was working. Don't know why it's not working anymore. Open up this whiteboard. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure why this is not adding, but we'll figure it out. We'll get it to work. It just seems like it. When I leave the app for a weekend, it undoes, changes, rolls back on its own. So weird. But yeah, so if you're interested in finding more out about the project that we're working on, there are previous videos posted on our YouTube. I need to work on trimming out the extra fluff from those videos and just have the interesting parts. That's going to take a while. I don't know if I'll ever get to it, but it is a goal. Thindle's here. Is it running? Of course the app is running. I just ran it right here. I have a new YouTube sub. Yosh. So that the videos starting in the playlist called P01 Financial Management Tracker or whatever I happen to call it give information of what this application should do, and then I've pretty much been going over at the start of each stream the kind of just the general information. So we have the YouTube, we have the GitHub repo that this thing lives in, which is github/onelion/financial management. Here's what we came up with on the first day. Then we came up with some we set up the project itself and set up the project structure too so that we could have something in the repo. Then we did some database design, drew out the database, sketched out the UI, and thought about some models that we might need with our UI. And so right now we are at the point where we're filling in the actual controls onto these pages. So you get a follower. What font is this? This font is crappy. Wait, I'm not sure which font you're talking about. You wouldn't happen to have an OnlyFans I could follow too. Nope. I wouldn't have time for an OnlyFans. That is not what I'd rather be spending my time on. Okay, so here we go. We're working on this page, and I was thinking through it, and I'm like, I don't really know which of these versions. Didn't I sketch out two different versions? Oh, I thought I sketched out. Oh, it was the transfer that I had two different versions. Okay, so deposit is going to look like this, and then I got confused. That's what happened. I got confused about how my deposits work. So I'm opening up my existing budget tracker, which is Microsoft Access. And it has a whole bunch of macros. And this is currently what my deposit entry screen looks like. Paint. Pasta. Okay. It's just like you can see all three tabs, the one for the payment entry, deposit, deposit payment. I don't know why it's deposit/payment, but anyway, this is where I do stuff like one of our accounts received money in some way, and then a transfer to go from one account to another account. So that's currently what that looks like. But this description here, can I get a regular? Thank you. This description right here is actually the same as copy pasta. This pay to. Oops. This pay to. It's just that in my pay tos, I currently have a flag that's set as this pay to is deposit only. So in that deposit tab, this description is just from our list of pay tos, so that in my transaction detail, nope, in my transaction, I would know that my account is getting paid from my description. And right now, the way that we have the database set up, the daddy base, which we might not actually be able to visualize at the moment. Did I install EF Core Power Tools? I don't see it. Let's install that so we can visualize this. Do I use Access a lot? Yes, I used to. Now I can say that I use it a lot because that's where I do all of my financial tracking. I'm looking to replace it, but other than that, no, I don't really use Access. But I used to use it pretty much every day from 2007 is maybe when I moved everything from Excel to Access. So 2007 until about 2017, so 10 years. EF Core Power Tools. Let's get this thing installed. And if you weren't here on Friday, I did mention that I had an interview on Tuesday. I had an interview last Tuesday with Google. It was kind of like a screening interview, and I did decent on it. I don't know, Thindle. So the whole point was the Google recruiter contacted me again and was like, so how are things going? I meant to contact you a couple months ago, but I'm contacting you now. Are you still looking? And I told her the story of I got a new job. It's a Jetty, and I'm really enjoying the work. I'm not sure about Google, especially in this area, because it sounds like it's an on-site position that's for Google Cloud, and I think it's like app services, or I really don't know what the work itself is. But they were just like, that you may as well try. May as well do the interview, figure out if it would work out for you. If anything, you'll get good experience with the interview. So I did. And it was more like a screening interview, kind of gauging where I'm at. And so I finished that, and the recruiter, contacted me on Friday close to the end of the day, and she was like, well, we'd like to move on to the next half of the next stage of the interview processes, which is a half-day virtual on-site interview. And it's like, oh, okay. So she's gonna call me today about that. Dukaso says I've never said yes. So it's really interesting. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I really don't. I still am not sure. I don't think that I'm gonna know until I know what kind of position it would be. Like I keep saying this. I remember it being my dream to work at Google. And yeah. Like I know at least when I graduated from university, I was like, My goal is to work at Google. I love working with Java because that was my programming language. JavaScript stuff wasn't really a thing because Java was the way that you wrote Android applications back in the day. Um, so I'm saying a lot today. I apologize for that. I'll do my best not to. So I so I change to so. So I asked them, or not I asked them. Now that I am in a position where I have the opportunity to interview for a position at Google, it's like I've invested so much time in Microsoft technologies. I'd really, and Microsoft has changed so much since then. But I would really like to contribute to the Microsoft ecosystem in a more direct way by working at Microsoft, and that would be my preference. Plus, the whole on site thing, it's like I don't know that I want to spend 2 hours of my day commuting. So, an hour commuting there, an hour commuting back. And then, of course, I'm still considering the stream because if I am working during normal work hours, I wouldn't be streaming during the day. And then I would not want to stream in the evening when I want to spend that time with my wife. So, I think the stream would suffer as a result. But at the same time, what are the opportunities that are being presented to me to what types of projects will I be able to work on if I work at Google? That's weighing heavily on me. No, I wasn't actually talking to you. Aw. There is a cat though. I don't know if you can see it. Um, Tugasoft says, I'm not interested in a job at Google, but if they asked, well, I wouldn't say no. Yeah, and I don't know what I would say. Like I have a few applications or I've applied for a few jobs at Microsoft and haven't heard back from any of them. And then I had a couple of referrals for positions at Microsoft. So I'm kind of holding out for that, trying to go through this interview process slowly. Shrugs. I just don't want to be rushed into making decisions either. But yeah, DC Aggie said, I'd hire you, but you'd have to relocate. I'm really liking this house. So I'd rather not relocate, at least not until I get more equity in the house. Fendel says, I'll recommend you. I have no one to recommend you to, but if I did, I'd recommend you. Well, that's thoughtful. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate you. So anyway, we are going to keep working through this application. I really do want this to be a finished application before anything happens. Um, so I start home again. I don't know what's going on with me. I'm just like super nervous, I guess. I would like for this to be a completed application because I want to use this as my financial tracker and replace Access. Mostly because I haven't been able to do the things that I want to do in Access that I would want to do with my finances, as far as tracking is concerned and uh, projections and budgeting, and maybe some automation, automatically entering some of those transactions for me that are regular and recurring. It'd be nice, which I could do in VBA. I know I can do that, but I want to do it in .NET. DC Aggie says, also, my history of taking poorly designed, broken, data dirty access apps created by end users and turning them into enterprise apps has resulted in the need for a trigger warning on the word access. 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 First place I worked actually went out and uninstalled Access from everyone's machines to prevent IT from being bypassed for app development and data storage. We did so much Access development where I worked because the only people that were allowed to do software development worked at the contractor at headquarters. Access denied. That's a good one, Dugasoft. And yeah, me being a little peon that worked in an HR office, even though I was information systems, had to resort to using Access and VBA for everything. But I eventually was a DC Aggie loves that one too. The access denied. Um, the thing that I was able to do is in 2009, I had a temporary development assignment at headquarters to add some functionality to the applications. And then from there, I was able to keep Visual Studio installed on my machine and work on actual development applications. So that was a good experience. And then that continued through the rest of that job. So I started working for Department of Defense, I think it was 2003, maybe 2004. And I went until 2014 with the same office, essentially. And then I moved jobs to the Department of Veterans Affairs for another 3 years on top of that. And then I came into the actual software development position. So by title, I've only been a software developer since 2017, but I've been doing it since 2004-ish. Even though it was Excel and VBA in 2004, Access in about 2006 or 7, and then .NET in 2009 and after. Good times, yeah. Apparently, I'm already tired from talking. I'm out of breath. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna sketch out this screen. As I mentioned, it's just going to be essentially all of the same controls that we already have on the other screen, but we're going to need some. Hello, Scott. Scott has been. Oh, I thought Scott was checking to see how long he's been watching the channel. Um, but yeah, hope you're doing well. So I need a model for this, and it's going to be our deposit data entry model. And that's going to have date to account. We're going to have to figure out what to do with the reason, because I'm not going to be able to make it as a transaction, which kind of means we might need another table unless I make this use the pay to, which I kind of don't like. All right, Thindle. See ya. I'll be here for a couple hours. Oh, I was like, why isn't it open? Because we closed it so that we can install EF Core Power Tools extension, which I strongly recommend for anyone using Entity Framework. It is such a cool tool. It lets you reverse engineer databases and split up your database context into specific files for each entity, and just a whole bunch of really, really useful things. So one of those useful things that we are going to use right now is the diagrammer. The diagrammer. So that we can get an ER diagram. Man, how am I going to do that? Maybe we just need to rename the pay to table and then keep using that as my underlying table for the reason on this page. And excuse me, did I not right click? I could have sworn that I clicked on this. Hello. I do not think that that word means what you think it to mean. An error occurred. See extensions output details. Unable to resolve type Feynman context. Do I need to do this in the database project and not the migrations project? That's probably what it is. We renamed the table from Pay2 to Pay2 Dugasoft. What are you telling me? Oh, okay. I need design if I'm going to use EF Core Power Tools. Got it. Or design. It's installed. Oh, it probably did it just now. It's showing that there was a change. So yeah, my assumption is that it installed it. We should be good. Let's try it again. EF Core Powder Tools. Powder Tools. Still an error. You know what? We're not going to use EF Core Power Tools. Unable to resolve type EF Core DB context options. What if we just got rid of that constructor? No, still hates me. It still hates me. Maybe I needed to rebuild. So right now I'm trying it on the actual class library itself, Scud, but it wouldn't have been missing from the migrations project because I created migrations on that context. It's the DB context options that it was telling me was missing. Thanks for the thought, though. If this doesn't work, I'm just gonna move on because I am just gonna use it to look at the database diagram, which we can do using SQL Server Management Studio if this thing wants to be a pain. Yeah, so it's acting like it's trying to use the constructor that has DB context options of. You remember having this error before? Yeah, so it's not like I'm doing it on the web project. I'm doing it on the database context class library. What if I tried commenting out the empty constructor and uncomment the DB well, it's telling me that it can't provide a value for this. For DB context options of Feynman main context. And I've commented out that constructor, so unless this thing has like a base constructor that has DB context options, and it's actually coming from DB context. Yep. So should have worked when I did it on here then. Oh, don't know. I guess I will try your suggestion just to see if it does a thing for us, which is uncommenting this and rebuilding. Because apparently when I try to do this EF core thing, it's not going to rebuild. EF core, add DB context. Yeah, looks like same error. Or not the same error, and it didn't scroll for me. It wasn't automatically scrolling. Kind of hard to tell where the last run was. I'm assuming it's starting here. Here, let's clear it. That's what we'll do. Then we don't even have to guess. See? All right. No database provider has been configured on this context. A provider can be figured using DB context. Okay, so that works. So now let's clear it and find out why it's not working on my migrations. That's giving me my DB context. DC Aggie's gonna go join Thindle in the shower. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. We don't need to know these things. Yeah, and this is acting like there is no use SQL Server. Okay. I'm not worried about it. It wants to be mean to me. I'ma ignore it. Screw you, you have core power tools. I was talking you up and you wanted to be mean to me. Probably because I'm using it wrong. But who cares? You're being mean to me. So what I really want to do then is leave a review. SQL Server Management Studio. And I think we are using Angie SQL because I set up secrets to use my local development database, which is why I'm okay with showing you this, because it's just trusted connection. So let's take a look at Angie SQL. There's Angie SQL. It looks like this. Fine and min. And let's create a new scheme. Where does that go? On the database itself? What is it even called? Where is this? Oh, what is it called? Oh, I know where it is. It's here. System tables. Database diagrams. Oh my gosh, I'm so blind. Database diagrams is where I want it to go. New database diagram, please. All right. I'm just going to add all of the objects so that we can see the diagram go. Beautiful. All right, you're a little high. Everybody gets high, everybody gets low. These are the days when everything goes. All right, I almost got it to fit. Don't, just go over here. Go over here. Okay, there we go. So the thing that is in the middle is obviously accounts, because everything is based off of the accounts. We also have a major group over here called transaction. And in all transaction, we have the transaction details and the line item types. So the transaction details are each line item, such as a subtotal, a sales tax, whatever you want to break your current receipt down to. Yes, database diagrams is a thing in SQL Server. Is that I can't think of the name of the food. Dumpling. Is that a dumpling? I love dumplings. Still doesn't seem right. Seem like the right word. So where in this diagram does, you know what? I didn't put it in here. I was going to say, where in this diagram do deposits live? I didn't create the reasons table, and I didn't add the deposit only field to line item types. Because if I deposit as a separate type of transaction, then my transactions table would not have the payee ID in it. Instead, I would have a transactions table, and related to that transactions table, I would have a deposit table that would have the deposit reason, and I would have the whatever we need to call the other table, the other type of transaction, which is kind of like this transfers table. So in my transfers table, I'm moving money from one account to another, and that means that payee ID would be null. Properties. But it's not nullable. However, I believe the payee ID in this case would be a phrase or a statement that's like to savings or from checking. But I don't like that. So maybe we can re-architect this database. And this is what I was talking about by making changes as we go along to the database. So this might be our first actual migration, aside from the initial migrate, where we kind of say that our transaction table is going to be connected to our, what do I call it? What is the name for a transaction between your account and a separate entity? Is it just a payment? A payment transaction? because the other two types of transactions that we have are um, deposit and transfer. Yeah. Okay. So let's take a look at this. I really do wish that we could get EF Core Power Tools to work because I want to look at the database after we make these changes. Which kind of means that I need some kind of diagrammer that we can work with. That doesn't require, so LucidChart, I think I've used up all of my free. How do I sign in? What do I sign in with? I guess I could just create a new account for this because it really is a separate thing. Yeah, that one looks to be full. Sign me out. Does Automated Realms have a Gmail address? Ooh, don't pick at pimples. Continue free. Okay, we might be able to use this one. I am a, which one of these best describes me? Customer service. We'll do design. Start me with a blank document. No teammates. Maybe later. Flowchart, shapes. No link data. Containers, UML. Guys, maybe I did need to go through that getting started tutorial thing because I am looking to make an ER diagram. Import data, ERD. Nope. Nope. Diagramming. Hello, science dreams, Senor Belint. Belint. No teammates. You guys are my teammates, but I didn't actually invite you, did I? Oh. Where in the world? Why? Why? Where's... I could have sworn that I've created ER diagrams before in LucidChart. No, that's the one that I was just on. Wait, more templates. Database ER diagram. Use template. Oh, this might work. How was the weekend? The weekend was fantastic. It was nice and laid back. I played video games. So I spent the past 2 weeks or one and a half, one and just over a half weeks, working exclusively on doing the studying for um, um, the certification, one of the Microsoft certifications, AZ204. And I still need to do more studying in it and do more of the learn paths to feel prepared for it, but I'm going to be scheduling the exam for sometime in September, which means that I'll probably schedule it next month for September. I think you buy the certification exam thing and then you have 30 to 60 days or something like that to take the exam, but I don't know how far out you have to schedule your Pearson VUE, whatever it's called, virtual proctoring. Um, oops. Hey, ER, why wasn't this there before? Guys, this is exactly what I was looking for. Okay, so we can remake this terrible drawing. Actually, you know what? Let's just use the one that this thing created for us. But yeah, so anyway, I did a whole bunch of studying, and then I was like, you know what? This weekend, I'm just going to play video games only, which I don't often do. But when I do, I play Final Fantasy XIV or some standalone game, which has been Shadow of War lately. Transactions, transaction details. Oh, um, line item types. How difficult is it to actually draw these lines? Um, transfers. These. What's up with the... Why aren't these looking exactly like these, guys? Accounts. I'm going to just drag all of these out. So accounts, account types. Is it you? Is that what the deal is? No. No. Schedule transactions. Reference types. You know what? The other one that I completely forgot that we need to do more with is schedule transactions, because the schedule transaction just kind of has a recurring bill, but it doesn't have anything about how much it would cost or what line items. So maybe I want a list of transaction details with that scheduled transaction as well. The problem is that I would, oh my goodness, I'm trying to make it too complex. That's what's happening. All right, so payees and lookup categories. Let's name these things. Lookup categories, transfers, a coconut types, line item types, transaction details, recurrence types, scheduled transactions, and lookup categories. No, scheduled, I said. Do you have a format painter? Because I would really like this header format. Either have the header format or just make everything else look like everything that's already there, please. Destroyed. Okay. transactions, transaction details. All right, we need some fields. Is it because this is the one I wanted to use? Yeah, it is. Is it easy to like, dang it. I want to switch this shape now. Summon a biscuit. I want this one. Either that one or this one. I wasn't paying attention when I did this, guys. I'm a terrible person. Because I want to be able to mark which one is the key and stuff. Poop. Transactions. Transaction did. Ah, yes. Hiccups. Line item types. Deleted. 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 Pays. Transfers. Isn't this fun? The coconut. What does right-click copy style do? Nothing. That might have helped us with the header, but it didn't help us with changing the format. But I could copy pasta like this. And then I can get these three to be lookup categories, scheduled transactions, and recurrence types. Okay. Anyway, good enough. Good enough for government work. Transactions has an ID. It has a payee ID. It has a date entered. And that's all we get. How do I add a field? Insert row below or above. Above works fine too. Date entered. Just in case I do it again, I'm going to right click. Do you have a keyboard shortcut? You don't. Insert row below. Two more. Row below. Row below. All right. Date entered. Transaction. I did need that one there because I forgot account ID. I should trust myself. Transaction date. Posting date. Memo. I don't like these being center aligned. $16 clicks. Oh yeah. No. How did that undo left align? What? Control L? Control L saves apparently. Makes perfect sense. You know, L save. Same character. Um, scoot you over just a smidgen so that. No. So that my type can be bigger. I don't remember. I think it was like 100. Are you going to San Francisco? There's gotta be a way. There has to be a way. And excuse me, how do I make the how, how does oh 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 it worked. That wasn't working for me before. And now I'm gonna want to recreate. Oh, you know what though? I should be able to do now right click copy style. Find out what all is considered a style. Right click, copy style, pasta style, yay! Control Alt V. I know what button control is. Awesome. Awesome possums. All right. And then we can delete, because I only have one primary key per table, and it is always called id. So we may as well fill that in. I wonder if we can copy a row. Copy row. Paste the row. Allow. No, it copied the cell. And that copied the whole table. Sunk it. So helpful. I appreciate your enthusiasm. Didn't I have more lookup tables in this though? I could have sworn. Oh, okay. Well, we're gonna get this table renamed. Oh, what? Confused. Because we're supposed to have two other tables that I didn't put in my diagram because I didn't see them. We're supposed to have lookup category payee and I thought we called this lookup recurrence types. Wait, is it because I typed it wrong? Oh. Don't make the same mistakes, man. I forgot a couple of tables is what it was that had happened. Okay. Categories was another table that I missed. No, you're about to make the mistake. I just said don't make that mistake. All right, there we go. Categories. So we have transactions, transaction detail. I'll continue copying over from here, and then we'll have a for real ER diagram. What? Well, we know which table is the most important, says Dukasoft. The dinner table. Absolutely. Absolutely. Transaction id int line item type id int description amount description. Does anyone want to be the very best? Like no one ever was. I think I made this 80. I can't remember. We'll double check though. Amount is a decimal. What size? What size is your default? Is it something like 7.2? Properties, because we didn't change the default. Oh, it's over here. It's actually a float. I didn't know. Hello, Bob Ross. Sorry to hear about your account, man. That sounds absolutely annoying. It is a float. And you were like in the 100 servers. You were at the server max, weren't you? So you're going to keep the same account then? Oh, it only DM'd people? Cool. All right. Glad to hear that you get to keep your account at least. Bob Ross's Discord account got hacked somehow, and it sent out messages, private messages to a bunch of people that he is friends with. It's stupid. And he says the stupid thing about it though is I haven't been on Discord for the past week and a half until yesterday, so I can't have even done anything to instantiate it. Yeah, I don't know what would have happened. I can't diagnose issues like that. I need to look up look up what size these lookups are. Design. You've been in London, so you didn't have access anyway? Do they not have internet in London? It's kind of what it sounds like. Got a brand new deck of playing cards. Nice playing cards. Nice. I used to, there were a few things that I used to collect, and playing cards, different, unique playing cards was one of them. That and lighters. Lighters were my favorite thing to collect. A lighter from each city that I visited that's unique to that city. They have rainnet in London. It flows quite fast. Fast. Utpated. See, if I say it backwards in my head, I'll type it correctly. It's so weird. Date time 2. Deleted. Bit. And this is actually what all of my lookup tables look like. So as soon as I format this one, I'm going to copy it for my other 2, 3. Account types. Recurrence types. Categories. Categories. Well, I don't think I can collect lighters, although I know a lot of people that do, not necessarily over 18. You have to be 18 to buy a lighter? Ooh, maybe today I will share one of my, you know what? That can be a redeem. I have enough of these. No, you go over here. This is me copying and pasting over the Microsoft Learn courses. So as I go through them, I copy them into my replace word pronunciations so that I can then copy it from here into, so I'll replace words like SQL and turn it into SQL. I'll get rid of the parentheses and then replace them with dash dash because it doesn't read stuff inside of parentheses. But yeah, like Azure SQL database so that it pronounces it correctly. Anyway, I take all of this and then I paste it into Descript and then I have it read to me because it's so much easier for me to read along with someone reading to me, and I can absorb the information even better that way. Because me reading it on my own, oh man, this brain of mine. But let me write down in my stream ideas a redeem for share a lighter. Or what's the lighter, I guess. What's the lighter of the day? Or maybe week. I don't know how many I have. So anyway, I'm going to give you one for free. I'll be right back. I almost fell in the bucket. So today's lighter of the day is an homage to Dukasoft. XSplit, where are you? XSplit original. So, do I have anything crazy back here? You can't see these, can you? Haha. That says Java. And yes, it is a lighter. I got it from, I don't know where I got this from, but I liked it, so I got it. Anyway, it does work. Bang coffee. So yeah, I love this lighter. That's the lighter of the day. What does it look like if I try showing it? Oh, you can still see it. That's cool. Except for this glare. Ah, just tilt. Anyway, cool stuff. Good times. Probably said Java backwards, but whatever. It's still there. Coffee. Where were we? What was I doing? Crying. What were you doing? Yes. Now that we have fire, we must drink water. Thank you so much for the reminder. Oh, I love water. It's so good. So tasty. Okay. I've lost my sense of direction. I've lost my... No, that's not what I was using. I was using SQL Server. These are nvarchar 80s. For name, good. I updated that before I moved it over. And I have another work email. Don't want to get too far behind on those. Okay. No need to call the trucks when you have a command for water. Water. It will spawn immediately in case of fire. Bang water. Pays. What was the other one? Memo. Memo is the other one that I want to know. What size? No, I am not, Barbarosso. That is done, done, done. So I've been working on doing a lot of studying for a Microsoft certification, and you weren't here maybe on those days when I mentioned this, but at the top of the stream today, I even mentioned it. I have an interview coming up, and it's for a company that you might have heard of, but I'm not sure. It's Google, I think is how you pronounce it. Yeah. I'm looking for the size. Who's Google? I mean, I already did one interview for Google. I did recently get a job, so I'll repeat it one more time. I originally was looking for a position at Microsoft. What the hell is Google? Google. I was originally applying for positions at Microsoft, and I wasn't even trying to apply for any other positions outside of that. But I knew that I wanted to leave the Rocky Mountain Arsenal because I wanted to get more into the type of software development work that I wanted to do and maybe get compensated for the level of the work that I performed a little bit better, because I was doing a lot more work than what I was getting compensated for. So it kind of tipped it for me. I usually am not one that's driven by money, but in this case, it was kind of like the environment, my boss at the time, and just a whole bunch of factors that played into it. So I was looking for a position at Microsoft, and I'm like, I have until August or September. to find a new position that I would want. And then I got a whole bunch of recruiters coming after me. As it happens. If you're on LinkedIn, you'll get contacted by a recruiter every 20 minutes or so, it feels like sometimes. And there were two companies that were like, we have a full-time software developer position that works with Blazor and Maui. Like as I was interviewing for this one, they're like Maui, and I'm like, are you sure? Are you sure we're using Blazor? This is a desktop app. Are you sure? Are you sure Maui's not out yet? Blah 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 blah. They're like, no, we're sure. It's gonna be Blazor for the front end. And I'm like, all right, this sounds really cool. So I heard what they had to say. They offered me something worth my time, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll take that position. But since then, it's like there were a couple of situations that happened that I'm like, I'm not a big fan of that. You kind of lost a couple points. Um, as far as, yeah, just a couple small situations. They weren't even big situations. But then I got contacted again by the Google recruiter that had contacted me a year ago. And she was like, well, we're just wondering, do you want to try an interview? Do you want to see maybe what they have to offer you, what you have to offer them? And I'm like, it wouldn't hurt to at least have that interview experience. And so I did, and it was a screening type of interview. It was last Tuesday. And then on Friday, close to the end of the day, I got a message back from the recruiter because the sourcer passed me off to a recruiter. The recruiter set up all of the interviews and stuff. So the recruiter contacted me and was like, so it seems like we do want to move forward with the virtual on site half day interview process. So I'll call you on Monday. So they're going to call me tonight, later this afternoon, so we can talk about setting up that half day interview. And I'm like, wow. Again, I'll listen to what they have to say. I'm interested to know what kind of work I would be doing if I took that position, but I'm just so conflicted. It's like I'm still trying to apply for a Microsoft position because, oh no, you're completely okay, Master. And also, hello. Um, No, absolutely okay. But I'm just conflicted because I've spent so much time working in Microsoft technologies, enjoying it, absolutely loving it, being an advocate for C Sharp, for Blazor. Just it's so much fun and so easy to work with, and it looks good to me. I love how C Sharp looks. Google would be Java, JavaScript, Dart probably, um, Go maybe. Yeah. So it's like I'm not familiar with those technologies. I don't know what the products are or what type of work it's going to be. So I just don't know what to think about it yet. Yeah. So I really don't know. I'm guessing. So the I live in Denver or around Denver, Colorado. They have an office in Boulder, and that office is for the Google Cloud. It's for G Cloud. And I don't know what that would mean for someone like me. We'll do something. I don't know if it'll be horses though, but we'll do something to get soft. I'm not like angry or totally against JavaScript. It has its uses, but in small quantities, in limited quantities, not as an entire framework for an application. Yeah, actually, I have one of those. Did I actually leave it in here? Hmm, hold on. I got this. Sound alerts. favorites. Well, we got this one. Oh, here it is. This might be loud. Might be too loud. Did I miss? That would be the one we use. And then for build fails, vote yes. All right, I'm writing these down. Now that we actually have a bot that's almost ready to be customized, please God no bang Java script and fail Mario. Yeah. Oh, so many good ones on here. So I'm looking at sound alerts, by the way. Yeah, those are my favorites. It's a trap. Anyway, so that's going to be easier to work with the bot and stuff. I'll get some good clips. I need more Diablo 2 ones.
Make it so.
Make it so. All of the next generation ones. I love Jean-Luc. He is my absolute favorites. Where did I put those? Did I do something like, oh, they're in my uploads. Yes. What happened to the other ones it looks like a bunch of the ones that I uploaded are no longer allowed or something. Like there's one where Jean-Luc is like, Mr. Data, what kind of cake is this? Anyway, we have some lines to draw after we fill in the rest of these. I needed to know from transactions what size is the memo field. Design. It is a 255. nvarchar 255. And then in transaction details, the description field. Design. It's 255 as well. Okay. Oh, my stuff got shifted. I need to reorganize. Go there. Go there. Go there. Go there. Where did we leave off? We left off at payees. Payees has a name field, and that's it. Yeah, this is the one that we might want to figure out what size that is. We might want to add a field to it as well. Depending on how we set this up. So payees, payees, payees. Keep that there. Transfers. Transfers has two fields. Transaction ID and target account ID. Transaction ID, target account it. Yeah, and there's just a lot of drawbacks to like what I wouldn't be able to do if I took a job with Google. Like streaming now. I am considering that a lot. I know that it's not really a massive part of my career choices, but it's something that I really learn a lot from and enjoy doing, and I don't want to stop that, you know? Payee's name field is 120. Anyway, point is, it's not the biggest factor, but it is a factor, if I didn't make that clear. I'm gonna guess also 120, but I'll double check. And type. Oh, why? That one was fine. Weirdo. This one. There you go. Good job. Weirdo. That one's already done. Done. Lookup category payee, which is going to have a payee ID. Actually, this one should just be, and it's actually category ID first. And it's categories ID because entity framework. But whatever, we're not going to interact directly with this table, so we don't have to worry about the naming of cats. Oops. Can I delete a row? Thank you. So we'll just let entity framework manage this. It's just I don't like seeing this in my database. That's right, I'm one of those people. All right, schedule transactions, which has a recurrence type id, which is an int. Day num, which I believe is also an int. So day num in this case, I keep rehearsing this to myself, but also to you in case you ever have any wonders. Day num in this case is going to be dependent on the recurrence type. So if we have a rule of recurrence type weekly, day num would be the day number of the week. So is it the first day, which is 0, which we'll call Sunday because we'll just use the enum from C#. There's actually a day of week enum in C#. And we'll use that to drive the values. If it is biweekly, then it's still which day of the week. If it's monthly, then it's which day of the month. And if it's bi-monthly, same thing. If it's quarterly, which day of the month, but the beginning of the quarter will be dependent on the starting date of the rule, which I don't have in here either. So scheduled transaction start date and scheduled transaction end date aren't in here. So we'll have to add some fields to this too. Account ID, pay ID, Menmo. Account ID, int, pay ID, pay ID, int, memo, and varchar probably 255 since that's what I've been doing for the other ones. Oh, ow. Here's one that I forgot to configure. Ouch. I feel that. I feel that in my resources. This is actually currently configured as default and varchar max. Could you imagine if this was a banking database and you had fields that were all nvarchar max and you were an international bank? No? Okay, that's fine. You don't have to. Display text and varchar something. A name and varchar something. Need more rows. How many of them? 1, 2. Oh, okay. So this is a lookup with an extra field called display text. The thing that we want to display when we are showing it in a drop-down menu. We'll go with 80, but I'll need to double check. Properties, 20. I was close. Oh my goodness. All right, and finally, categories. Do you have any extra fields? You do not. All right, does anyone look awkward? You seem to be lining up with each of these fields, so that's good. We'll go with payee ID node. We'll go with account ID node. Wait a minute. Oh, good grief. That's just in a different order. You're so confusing. That was scary. All right, account ID node and transfers leads back to, so this needs to go on top. Excuse me, Masen. Transfers will point back to transaction ID. Okay, and then transaction details points to transaction ID, line item type ID. The, excuse me, wrong one. Nice try though. Target account ID points to accounts. Don't you love playing whatever the name of that rope game is? Dang. I don't have a good way to untangle this. If anyone sees a better untangling, then let me know. Pay ID, category ID. Oh, I got steady hands. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to move transactions to the middle or something. Go over here, accounts. Ooh, I think I see. I think I see one. Don't I? All right, that'll do. And this will go over here. It's a art, okay? It's a art. It's a thing. Oh, what was I thinking? Scheduled transactions doesn't actually connect to scheduled or to transactions. This will go with you. You'll go with accounts. Account types. And then a scheduled transaction somehow relates back up to. Yeah, I'm just going to connect them and then we'll have to figure out how to get it cleaned up. Oops. Back in squeaky clean. Squeaky clean, is it? Are you ready for some oh yeah, I don't know how. I looked at it for a sec. I think it's yes. Yes, I can. ER diagrams, my specialty. I'm gonna need some help reorganizing this thing, moving stuff around. I didn't choose crow's feet. It just kind of showed up. I was just drawing lines. Okay, Just give me a bigger board for now. Give me a bigger board. That's not what I expected that to do. All right. So, what do we have here? We got transactions, which goes only to line item types. So that can definitely be untangled easily. And it's actually the other way around. One transaction can have multiple transaction details. Is there a way to move you? I don't like that. Pays go up here. Schedule transactions. Just get out of the way. Categories. It's this accounts that's hurting me. Thindle's back. Thindle is also back and squeaky clean. Okay, getting somewhere. This looks terrible. Um, that can just move out of the way up here somewhere. Anyone can guess why I don't like using ER diagramming tools? Because I spend way too much time on it. All right. If we take this thing, if we move you to the other side, then we got to take this one and move you to the other side. And we take... Yeah. And I mean, I kind of have that. Still not doing a very good job with file them both away, never to be touched again. But yeah, the thing about these that you get from SQL Server Management Studio is they don't actually point to the property that they're connected to. So like this here looks like a circular reference. You can turn on labels. I don't think I've ever used labels before. I mean, I'm not going to keep this diagram for now, or the SQL Server one. The only thing that I care about doing with this right now is looking at it so I can do some redesigning. Dang it. Something. It's not terrible. It's not great. It's not terrible. Yeah, so like if I wanted to do this the right way, I would create an ER diagram for each domain. So like a transactions domain, an accounts domain, a lookups domain, maybe, and then only have the related tables. Hello, Xcoding. Yeah, I did too, Bindle. Like the very first way that I learned how to use Entity Framework was database first, because I would almost always have a database that I'm working from first. So it's like, yeah, we just connect our DB context to the database and then let the database updates happen because that was managed by a separate DBA. So when the database updates happened, we saw the models get updated. But now, I kind of want to make it. Oh, that's why I didn't do that. This line here. Yeah, and if we needed anything local, we would just do a partial class. So I agree with you, Thindle. No digs from me. But this looks good to me as far as the just setting stuff up on this screen, because now we're looking at deposits, and I didn't leave myself enough room to put flipping deposits. Purple deposits. So what I was thinking of doing is creating two more tables to handle the two different types of transaction, or there are currently three types of transactions that this application should be able to handle. A payment to some entity from one of our accounts, a deposit into our accounts from somewhere else, and then a transfer from one account to another account that is ours. And what I was thinking of doing is, instead of having the payee ID inside of the transactions table, the transactions table will only hold the account ID, date entered, transaction date, the date it posted, and then any memo about it. Then we'll have a separate table that we will steal from transfer. And this table will be called payments. And it's going to have a transaction ID. Damn. So really, oh, and payee ID, duh. Dukasoft. Hey, did you guys hear it? I didn't hear it. Maybe my headphones are just turned down way too low. But thank you so much, Dukasoft, for the gift sub. Xcoding, you now have a sub to our channel where we have two emotes because I'm a terrible person. But Bob Ross created them and they look really cool. I like them. Thank you so much, Bob Ross, for creating those two emotes that I've had for since like the beginning of affiliate. They're the only two emotes that I have still. Shows you how good they are. All right, I will get this change at least sketched out in our ER diagram. But there are multiple changes that we need to make. As I mentioned, in our scheduled transactions, there are some properties that I forgot. And there was a follow that I missed. Oh no, just happened. Thank you so much for the follow, Jordan M. Um, I still use the default one. What was I talking about? Because I already forgot. Yeah. So this is where I'm thinking we have that separate deposit reason table. No, Tukasoft was saying you're welcome to Xcoding. Master Hat was like, Tukasoft, you are not Bob Ross. Dan Games face. Dan's gaming. Completely okay though. I'm not. Bob Ross is way too cool, says Tukasoft. Aw. Aw. So nice. All right. Um, deposit reason. Deposit ID. Okay. Wait, that's not. Right. Right. This is probably going to end up getting called something else, but this is going to be deposits ID if we use our lookup category payee table that got created for us. Deposits ID and deposit reason types ID because we're actually going to have. Can I do multiple rows at a time? Nope. So this is just going to be a. Why is it a many to many? I want it to be a one to one. Oh, what am I doing? This is a deposit reason type ID. We're gonna have. Oh my goodness, what did my brain just do then? Do just then? And these are gonna be our deposit reasons. Can I just call this deposit reason ID? Call this deposit reasons. Okay. So I need to color this table. How do we color? Yeah. Color you bad. Payments. renew tables. My keyboard is dying. No, no, not yet. Dismiss. I've been moving so slow. No. I hope you guys are okay with this pace because it's not like we're in a hurry to finish this, but at the same time, I would really, really like to have a working, um, whatever this thing is called. Can I color the line? Does anyone know if I can color the line? Yes, I can color the line. So I'm coloring that red because I want to remove that. And I would also like to color the text. No, just for this. Just for this. Yes. Red because I want to remove that. And then we will add the extra things that I said we were going to add to the scheduled transactions. And there was something that I needed to add to payees. There was a deleted flag. I know that. So let's make that green. No, I just want that. It's so hard to tell it that I just want this one row to be colored green. Oh, here's the shade header option. But it doesn't look like I can color this row green. But I could have sworn that there was one more thing. I'll have to go back and review the video to find out what the other property was that I wanted to add to payees. Payees. Yeah, and then I'm probably going to move account. Oh my gosh, stupid payee. Why did I have to put you in that order? I should just change the order of those rows to make things better. But then there's a bunch of stuff that I want to add to schedule transactions, like I need a list of transaction details, but I can't use transaction detail because that requires a transaction ID. So I'll have to think through that. Yeah. But yeah, that's got to be it for my time for today. And thank you, Jordan, for the comment. It's great. This is great. I like that you talk out loud what you're thinking. Yeah. And then Dukasoft also said, I like the thinking process. It's something you rarely get to hear. So we'll finish up our changes to the database, and we will do a database migration. Then we'll create the models for deposit and transfers tomorrow. So tomorrow the stream will start about 15 minutes earlier than all of the other soup, syrup, tacos. Do I have words? I start my stream 15 minutes earlier on Tuesdays because I have a meeting at 1 p.m. Oh, this is a great comment. So glad I found this stream. I start as a junior dev soon and am switching to .NET, so I'm going to watch the VODs and learn. Awesome. I don't know that this project is a good .NET learning tool. We do have a whole bunch of prior VODs where I was talking through Maui. Those probably aren't so good either because we were experimenting a lot with Maui. But we're definitely here for you. Dukasoft just did the command for Discord. Feel free to join our Discord if you run into anything that you want, that you would like help with. If you have questions, feel free to reach out to our Discord community. A lot of us like to help out where we can. And If there's any topics that you're really interested in seeing, we have a Friday community stream. So I can talk in depth about a topic either with you or just as the topic of that stream. So that happens every Friday. Just let me know and I'll try to get some information together for you, whatever you're looking for. And Zulius renewed his subscription as well. Thank you so much. And again, with the Prime Gaming, that is so super nice of you. I am honored that you would do that. Using your one Prime subscription on me. That's so cool. Really, really, really appreciate that. So anyway, thank you all for being here. I will be back again tomorrow, 10:15 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time, which is UTC -6. I'll go for 2 hours during my extended lunch break. And yeah, I'm going to be hanging out in Discord again today. So I'm back to normal schedule. I'll be in a voice channel in Discord after I go and grab a snack and working on my actual job. Yay. All right. So see you guys later. Enjoy. Have fun. Do your best at everything you do because you will succeed. Okay. Ciao for now. Bye.